Hey guys, this is Ross with Hamil Bros Studios, and I'm going to dive into kind of a small troubleshooting session that I took on about a month ago, maybe a little longer than that, but today being May 3rd, about a month ago, we were at NAB, which is the National Association of Broadcasters, for those that aren't aware, and we were tasked with doing motion graphics for some features videos for Tokina. And this is the audio that came in. So Carlos, who was working there at the time, he shot and edited these videos and sent us the audio. Actually sent us the video so we can do the motion graphics, and I decided to take on a small fix on some of the audio. So to kind of give you an idea of what we're dealing with here, Carlos is self-admittedly not really a post guy. He's more of a production guy. And so he recorded this voiceover. Most of it, I think, was recorded at one time, but then there was a line added later on that was recorded, if I'm not mistaken, it was on a different microphone and in a different location. You know, everything was different about the second reading that he had, or this one line. So I'm going to jump in here and we're going to take a listen real quick, just so you can hear what we've got.
To achieve the best contrast and image performance, you must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above.
So right here, just grab our time tool and listen to this so you can hear specifically. This area was the original recording, and when he says or above, you can hear the difference, and we'll take a look and see what the actual difference is here in just a little bit. So let's play this again.
You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above. You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above.
So while Carlos did a really good job mixing all this together, I think he did it all in Premiere, actually. He did a fine job, but I'm not the kind of person that can just let this go. So this or above was kind of the problem here.
Or above, or above, or above.
So a couple of issues. The energy's different, the read is different. It just sounds different, and for me that's distracting. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't know the difference, but you know, we've spent a lot of time and effort training ourselves to notice these things, so why not fix it if we can? So we're going to look at some different ways to actually fix this.
To Iris T 2.0 or above.
So I'm going to jump in here. And if we look, I'm just going to zoom in. This is the spectral view in Adobe Premiere Pro. This is CC 2018. As of right now, I'm still on Windows 7, so I can't upgrade. But if we look here, you can see the fundamental down here, the brighter areas, that's his voice. The fundamental is down here, kind of sub 100 hertz. And then this or above, the fundamental is higher. So you can see the actual difference. So I'm going to look at a couple of different ways that we could try to solve this, and then I'm going to show you the way that I did it. And hopefully this will be of some value to you someday in the future. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up. I'm going to send this to Ozone RX, and this is RX 7. This is basic. This is not the advanced version. And let's see if we can find this clip again. Get in here. I think this is it, just judging by the waveform. So, or judging by the, not the waveform, the spectral view.
To Iris T 2.0 or above.
Yep, that's it. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do, because I want to be able to isolate his voice out from the music, and there may be better ways to do this in the advanced version, but I'm just going to go with what I have here. And so what I'm going to try is using the music rebalance here. And let's just see, isolate voice. They've got some pretty good setups here. So let's just preview and see what we get.
Set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above. The Tokina will natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above.
Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. It's not the best. The problem is, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to pitch shift his voice a little bit. And if I'm hearing any music at all in that pitch shifts, obviously we're going to have a problem when it stacks up against the music that I'm going to be remixing in. So let's try the isolate voice medium and preview that. Give us maybe a little more runway here.
You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above.
Still there. It's not what I want. So isolate voice. Let's try aggressive and see what happens. Preview.
You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above.
It's getting there. The problem now is that the voice is sounding super robotic, and that's just no good at all. Let's try the sensitivity up to 10 on the voice and see what happens.
You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above.
It's still not what I want to do. So let's just tweak this again.
You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above.
Yeah, that's just toast. And not even Texas toast or buttered toast. That's just burnt toast. And nobody likes burnt toast unless they're weird. So I'm not getting what I want out of this. So RX, I love you, but you're not really doing what I need, and that's okay. Not every tool is suited for every job. So let's just jump back over here. And I'm going to show you how I did this, and it's actually a lot simpler than what I was trying to do there. So what we've got here, this is our basic track.
To achieve the best contrast and image performance, you must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above.
Or above. Carlos has such a nice voice. So what we're running into is we've got the music's baked in, if you couldn't tell already. Now, I'm going to cheat just a little bit, but I'm going to show you something else first. So when we were sent all this, we were given the Premiere project with no assets since we didn't have the bandwidth to internet all of this stuff over to us. However, we did provide them with the music. So this was a song that came off of Artlist. And we were able to go into Premiere and relink the audio, or relink the music at least, and render out the music exactly like it was rendered out of Premiere with the voice. But we just muted the voice. We were able to solo out the music and get it automated out properly, it was automated. So it was nice to have the keyframes just baked in. But what I'm going to do here is this track 2 right here, we'll just call this MX for music. And I'm going to play this back along with turn that off.
With the introduction of VistaVision cameras,
so we've got our music playing, and sometimes the easiest solution is the best solution, and this is definitely one of those examples. So let's just zero this out so you can hear the music at full volume.
With the introduction of VistaVision cameras.
Okay, so knowing what we know about sound, and maybe you know this, maybe you don't, but you have every waveform. Let's just open this up and look at it. I'm just going to zoom in here super close so you can see all these ups and downs. Those are part of the waveform, and basically that's a visual representation of how the sound is moving the air. Now, let's pretend that, well, let's use a basic example. You have a tug of war, and you have your speaker or your headphones, whatever, and basically that speaker is pushing and pulling the rope, up is forward, down is backward. And it's just pushing and pulling the rope. No big deal. But you add the other team to the tug of war. And what happens in a tug of war? You have both teams trying to pull against the middle. So it's a very similar situation here where we have this going up and we have our music down here. And as you can see, the ups are similar and the downs are similar. But we have this little button right here. Right in Audition, it's called polarity reverse. Others call it phase inversion. So we're going to turn that on. And what that does, you don't see it here, but what that does is instead of this going up, it's now going down. Exactly opposite of what it was. And since the music, I took the time to sync it before I started this tutorial. So we've got the ups and the downs going with each other. And let's just find a section after this is automated. So right here, let's just play this back. And I'm going to show you a really cool trick here. So it sounds like I lowered the volume on this, but all I did was come close to matching the volume here. And what's happening is this top layer for our tug of war example, it's pulling up and this layer is pulling down. And what happens when you have two sides of a tug of war that are pulling equally hard? They get stuck. The rope doesn't move. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to tweak. Getting a little louder, so I'm going to try to match this volume. Look at that. Both of these are playing. You can see the meters moving, but down here on our master output, nothing. I'm going to reverse this again. Turn it back on. And I'm not doing anything crazy here. This is just physics. So, what does this allow us to do? Well, let's go to our section where we want to edit this out. I think this is
Instead of selling your investment and artistic tools of choice, the Tokina VistaVision 1.6 times expander adapts your Super 35 lenses to cover VistaVision sensors.
Listen to that. That is a perfectly isolated dialogue track.
Mount lenses within 21 millimeters.
That's not it.
Percent the lens.
Here we go.
Or above.
So let's listen to this now. We've got our perfectly isolated dialogue track, which means we can go in and modify this.
To Iris T 2.0, contrast and image performance. You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above.
How about that?
To Iris T 2.0 or above.
That's pretty stinking cool. So what I'm going to do here, and basically the way I told you earlier that I cheated when I did this, we don't always have these source files available, but right now I'm canceling out against the downloaded version from Artlist. This track right here, track 3, we'll just call this Premiere MX. And this was the audio that was rendered directly out of Premiere. So similar scenario.
And image performance. You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0 or above.
So it accomplishes the exact same thing. I just phase inverted this, but the levels were already matched. I didn't have to go through and match it like I did here, but that's cool. It's whatever. So now that we've got this isolated,
the Tokina will and image.
What I wanted to do, since we're going to be remixing this, I really wanted to get the whole dialogue or the whole voiceover track isolated
to cover VistaVision.
And the reason I used the Premiere version is because there is some automation at the first. It starts off louder and it gradually fades out, and I don't have to mess with keyframing that on this audio track here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Control. I'm going to take these and I'm going to go, let's see, what do I want to do here? Mix down. That's not what I want. Bounce. There we go. Selected clips only. And what that's going to do is that's just going to mix those two together. Let's turn this off. Turn both of these off. And let's see what we've got here.
It reduces your focal length by 1.6 times and reduces your light by 1.3 stops.
That's pretty cool. So I'm going to call this DX Isolated. And literally, I used no plugins to do this, to isolate this dialogue. So that was the first big challenge, was getting the music taken out. And we have, this is about as clean as you can get on a dialogue track without actually having the recorded dialogue straight out of the recorder or however it was recorded. So let's see if we can find our
Tokina VistaVision Expander. 1.3 stops.
Well, we'll find it again.
Above.
There we go, or above. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to create a marker here. And so now I'm going to open this up in the waveform editor here. And let's just listen to this and see.
To Iris T 2.0
or above.
To Iris T 2.0
or above.
Okay, so what I can already tell is that I want to pitch shift this down just a little bit so that it matches. And for this, let's see what we can do just with native plugins here. So let's go filter and EQ, time and pitch, automatic pitch correction, manual pitch correction. We're not really correcting pitch, we're just going to stretch that. So let's see if I can expand this up because I really want to be able to see this down here. No, I want to look at this one closer. Oh, that's not helpful. Okay, so apparently you can't actually do this. So you know what I am going to do here? Let me get this back, and I'm just going to clear this out and go to default. Stretch. We're not stretching, so let's just go down -2. And you can see right here our waveform's already moving down just a little bit. Let's try -3 and see if that gets us closer. -4. Nope, -4, not +4, -4. I don't want vocoder mode. Solo, instrument, or voice, we can turn that on. And that looks pretty close, so let's see.
Or above. Or above.
Yuck. That sounds pretty terrible, actually.
Or above. 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 Or above.
Try that.
Or above. Or above. Or above.
Let's apply that and see what we've got here.
To Iris T 2.0
Or above.
To Iris T 2.0
Or above.
Okay, so we're not getting the result we want out of that. That just sounds like garbage, actually. So what I'm going to do here, and this might be better suited. Actually, you know what? Let's just send this back to RX and see what it's got. Time and pitch.
No.
Or above.
The Tokina 1.
Okay. Let's just look here.
To Iris T 2.0
Or above.
Okay, so let's see what RX can do for us. pitch coherence, shift performance. Yep, let's do that because that's going to sound better. So let's go ahead and go -2. Render that out. Let's just see what that does for us. Nope.
To Iris T 2.0
or above.
Yeah, I'm not liking that either. Okay, so I'm just going to go back over here. Let's go into our multi-track session. We're going to do this. A better way, just Control K, going to split that out. And let's go to our effects rack. I'm going to clip effects here. We don't want track effects because that's going to affect everything on the track. If I go to clip effects and select this one clip, I can get, let's see if I can do this without, no, okay. All right, so I'm going to go into one of my favorite plugin packs. That is Waves Gold. I'm going to use Ultra Pitch Shift mono stereo since this did bring us out to a stereo. And since I've already done this, it's set up to my last preset or my last setting. So let's just see how this sounds.
To Iris T 2.0
or above.
Not bad, actually.
To Iris T 2.0
or above.
No.
Or above.
Maybe adjust this format up just a little bit and see.
The lens to Iris T 2.0
or above.
Move it up some
T
more.
2.0
or above.
So this sounds really, really close. So let's
To
listen to
achieve
this
the
whole thing.
best contrast and image performance, you must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0
or above.
That's not bad. And since this is going to be, since this was shown on a trade show floor, nobody's going to know the difference. So let's do this. So we've got that. And now the other problem we have is that it still doesn't have the body that the rest of the recording has. So
To
let's
achieve
listen
the
back.
best contrast and image performance, you must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0
or above.
I'm going to go ahead and let's go into filter and EQ, parametric equalizer. Let's get rid of that. I don't know what that is. And so now I'm just going to try to match this with EQ because, like I said, different days, different microphones, different places.
You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0
or above.
The Tokino 1.6 times expanse. You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0
or above.
The Tokino 1.6 times expanse. You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0
or above.
The Tokino 1.6 times expanse. You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0
or above.
The Tokino 1.6 times expanse. You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0
or above.
The Tokino 1.6 times expanse. You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0
or above.
The Tokino 1.6.
Okay, so that's obviously not the best in the world, and that pitch shifter's kind of messing with us because it's trying to play it in real time, but once it renders out, it's a lot smoother. So what we're going to do now is take this. We're going to turn our music back on. Just see how it sounds.
To achieve the best contrast and image performance, you must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0
or above.
The Tokino.
And actually, that may be a little too loud now. And the other thing here is we didn't have a whole lot of time to really make this sound as best as it possibly could because we were in the NAB crunch. So this was as good as it got, and I don't think anybody knew the difference.
To Iris T 2.0
or above.
The Tokino.
Maybe bring that up just a...
1.6 2.0
or above.
The Tokina
That sounds pretty good to me.
2.0
Or above.
Okay. Okay, so the only thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring the music up just because we can. Make it just sit a little bit better, hopefully. Kind of mask that, the fix that we made.
You must natively set the lens to Iris T 2.0
Or above.
The Tokina 1.6 times expand.
So that's it. Pretty much just matching, using EQ to try to match the energy, using a pitch shifter to match the different reads, and using phase cancellation to suck the music out and isolate the voice so that we could make those other corrections. So, hope this was informative. It certainly got us out of a bind and helped, it just helped the end product be that much better when they showed it at NAB. We'll catch you next time.